a piece of paper.
Can I move this?
Why?
Okay, perfect.
All right. Getting set up here. All right. Hey everyone. Welcome to another edition of Zacca Mesa at Home. My name is Garrett, brand ambassador, tasting room manager, and sommelier at Zacca Mesa Winery, right here in the heart of San Ynez Valley. Couple little updates. This Saturday, we were supposed to be doing the winery tour, but unfortunately, they're still doing some work at the winery, so we'll have to push that again, so I apologize. So this upcoming Saturday, instead of doing the winery tour, I'm going to be doing a feature on our homage collection. So this homage collection is a category of wines, a program of wines that we started doing that are sourced from other local vineyards in Santa Barbara County. So I'll be doing a discussion on that series, and we'll be pushing the winery tour to the end of the month, the last Saturday of the month. But that could be rescheduled again, but I'm hoping they're done by then. But we'll keep everyone up to date on that. Thanks again for joining me. I hope everyone had a great Mother's Day. My wife and I and the two kids, we drove up to Santa Barbara and got my wife's favorite cuisine. She is with me again this evening behind the camera to write down any questions that you guys have as they come in. So please feel free to ask any questions as we go through the tasting tonight. Tonight we will be doing our two different Rhone blends, the Z Cuvée Blanc and the Z Cuvée. So these are two of our classic Rhone style, one red and one white blend. A couple of the, one of our probably most popular wines in the tasting room at the winery. Z Cuvée Blanc has been one of my favorite, if not my favorite, white wine at Zacca Mesa, and in one of my favorite in the area since I started working there. So I'm really excited to get into this wine. Z Cuvée has been a staple red blend for us at Zacca Mesa since the first vintage was in '92, so it has been around for a long time. I actually have a couple bottles from the late '90s that should probably have opened by now, but I'm just waiting for that right moment. But if you have either one of these wines, if you got these wines ahead of time, let's open it up and enjoy it as we go through the tastings tonight. If you just have a wine, open that up and start enjoying it. Also, the June schedule, I just submitted that today, so it should be getting posted here later this week. So we'll have the whole June calendar up. Got some really cool tastings I'll be doing. And I would love to hear from you guys specifically on any ideas that you have on topics, specific topics that you want to know more about. And, I've left a couple dates open to where I can, add something. So, please let me know if there's any specific topics, whether it's about Zacca Mesa or just wine in general that you guys want to know more about, and maybe we'll do a feature on it. Looks like Jeff, my good friend Jeff, who has been watching these for a while now, he wants to know what Lauren's favorite wine is. My wife, Lauren, from Zacca Mesa, so I'll let her answer that. What's your favorite wine, babe?
I have so many. My favorite wine definitely has to be, top of the head, the Z Cuvée. I feel like that's the one I like to talk about the most. I feel like it can be paired the most with a lot of things, and it's just really great.
And that's the wine. What a coincidence! That's the wine we're doing tonight.
Really? Oh.
So Z Cuvée is my wife's favorite. What's your favorite white? You like the Chardonnay or Roussanne? No, you like the.
I'm a big Chardonnay fan, but
yeah, Chardonnay. But Z Cuvée, you know, I didn't know that, and I feel like I should have known that, and I just learned that now. So that's good to know that my wife's favorite red that we do is the Z Cuvée, as it is a favorite of a lot of our customers. So let's dive into the Cuvée Blanc. Since it's the white wine, we should probably start with this one. So Cuvée Blanc is a program. Very first vintage was 6 or 7. When after we planted Grenache Blanc in 2005. So before that, we just had Roussanne and Viognier for our white Rhone varietals on the property. And with the addition of Grenache Blanc, our winemaker at the time decided, hey, now we got 3 different Rhone varietals we can do a nice little blend with. So the majority component is typically either Roussanne or Grenache Blanc. Lately, it has been more Roussanne dominant. This vintage is 58% Roussanne, so a heavy Roussanne component, 39% Grenache Blanc, and 3% Viognier. So just a little bit of Viognier on this vintage. So with the Roussanne dominance, it definitely adds a bit more of that textural component. You know, has that spiced pear, fig, honey. Grenache Blanc with 39%, you know, comes in with that really bright citrus profile, green apple, a little more mineral driven as well. And then Viognier just adds that nice little aromatic of, you know, those little floral and tropical characteristics that are really nice. Ray Murrow 442 drank the Pinot Blanc last night. Oh, I love the Pinot Blanc. I'll be doing the Pinot Blanc next month in June on one of our Wednesday tastings. Love the Pinot Blanc from Bien Nacido. And my friends from Chicago have joined again. Try it online. Thanks again. You guys have been watching just about every show, I believe, and I appreciate it. It's good to see you guys here again. Just to remind everyone too, when you purchase 3 or more bottles, you can set up a private virtual tasting with me. So if you've already made an order recently and you just didn't know that, or you want to set that up, just email me, Garrett@zacamesa.com, and we'll set up a private virtual tasting. I've done quite a few of them now. They've been really fun. I've had people include, you know, their neighbors, you know, via Zoom, and family from, you know, different states. So they've sent bottles to other people. So it's almost like this kind of tasting party. It's been really fun. All right, back to the wine. Time to get serious. Yeah, you definitely get the Roussanne pretty dominantly. But these 3 varietals are a great blending component. I think they contrast so much that they work really well together. You know, Roussanne, you know, again, you know, a little thicker skin, great, more tannin, a bigger, you know, creamier texture, has that spiced pear, fig, you know, and Grenache Blanc is on the opposite side with those bright citric notes that, you know, the 2 of those together just really work nicely. And then you have that Viognier, which just adds that stone fruit and floral characteristic. This vintage, we did 10 months in just under 20% new French oak. So a little bit of new French oak on there, which adds that, and again, a little more textural profile, which I really like. And for those who may remember, Z Cuvée Blanc used to just be called Z Blanc. So if you're, you know, thinking, well, what's Z Cuvée Blanc? I know Z Blanc. It's the same wine. We just added the Cuvée to it, just to kind of connect with our other Rhone blend, Z Cuvée. Unfortunately, this is not a wine you can buy out in the market. This is something that's only direct to consumer. So you have to order it with us or go to our website to order. And I will have a pretty nice special going on promo with tonight's tasting that I'll get into. All right, let's move over to Z Cuvée. Z Cuvée. I mean, this has been, one of our staple blends at Zaca Mesa since, like I said, the early 90s. First vintage was 1992, and we continue to make this program. Every year is different. It's gone through different blending component changes, but it's always been, a Rhone blend. In Southern Rhone, Châteauneuf-du-Pape, Côte de Rhone, they're known for their Grenache-based red blends. Grenache, Mourvèdre, Syrah, Cinsaut, Counois. These different red varietals that you don't get as much in the States. Our Z Cuvée is either Grenache or Mourvèdre based with Syrah and Cinsaut. In the past, we did used to have Counois on the estate, so there would be some of that in there. But in most recent years, it's a blend of those 4 varietals. So this is the 2016 vintage, and in this vintage, this is going to be more Mourvèdre dominant. So we're looking at just over 50% Mourvèdre, 36% Grenache, 5% Cinsaut, and 3% Syrah. So more Mourvèdre, Grenache dominant, which is typical. It's either Grenache or Mourvèdre being the more dominant varietal. But with the Mourvèdre, I mean, you really get a lot of that spice, a little more of that dry tannin, a little more meatiness. Grenache comes in with that really rich, savory red fruit. And, the Syrah with that small amount is more than anything, just adds a little more backbone and kind of that color, that darker color to it. And then Cinsaut, one of those varietals people rarely ever, hear about. Cinsaut makes lovely rosé. It is also used to add color to some wines. And in our case, and my wife was just saying she loves Cinsaut, 100% Cinsaut. We haven't done 100% Cinsaut since 2009. We have under an acre of it, so we don't have a lot to use in it. All of it goes into the Z Cuvée program. But for me, it's always, it's not very tannic. It has a lot of black cherry and then pepper. It doesn't have a lot of complexity to it. But as a blending component, it's really nice. Nice. Z Cuvée has always been a nice medium-bodied red too. I've definitely found in the tasting room it meets a lot of different palates. The price point is also killer. It's $25 a bottle. Same with the Cuvée Blanc. I mean, that's a pretty killer price point on 2 really solid wines. But Z Cuvée, being that it's a little more medium-bodied, it's really food-friendly. People seem to really enjoy it, whether you like the more full-bodied reds or the lighter reds. It's kind of that right there in the middle. It meets both palates. And I have a question?
We have a couple questions. First being from Ray Murrow. Any word when the tasting room will be open?
Yeah, any word on when the tasting room will be open? Not currently. Right now, I'm hearing whispers, but I think we're still a few steps away from getting to that point. And I think, once we do get to the point of reopening, it'll definitely be a different setup. Probably we're going to be more by appointment. We'll have to limit the amount of tasters that we allow in. But no word yet, and I promise, as soon as we know, everyone else will know, and I'm looking forward to getting back to the tasting room.
DB Imagery asks, okay, can you tell us the best way to do a whisk, sip, and wine tasting?
A whisk, sip, and wine tasting.
I don't know if you said that.
I'm not sure on the whisk, sip, and wine tasting. Is whisk are we talking about like this? Is this a whisk? The little swirl? Get back to me on here. I'm not sure what a whisk, sip, and wine tasting is.
CBIE Lacus says, how long can you hold this wine?
Yeah, Z Cuvée, it's made to enjoy youthful because of its blending components, but definitely we've seen this wine, extend over 10 years. I think anywhere from 6 to 8 years is a safe bet with it. It's one of those wines that has a lot of drinkability, youthful, but does have aging potential to it.
The final sip before you taste. Don't know what you call it. He's calling it a whisk.
The final sip before you
taste.
That's
a whisk. So what would you... Can you tell us the best way to whisk, sip, in wine tasting? So basically the final sip before you taste. Don't know what you call that.
The final sip before you taste.
The final...
Like that. Are you talking about the breathe in? The reason why I do that, and that's usually after I've kind of swirled it and slushed it around. It's to detect alcohol. So when you take that deep, quick breath, that's where you can kind of feel how far back the alcohol goes. So if it is kind of just going to the roof of your nose, it's lighter, and if it hits the back of your throat and your chest, it's probably higher alcohol. So it's kind of a habit that I have when I taste wine of trying to kind of detect alcohol. Oh, perfect. I got it. All right. Does anybody have Z Cuvée at home, or is familiar with Z Cuvée and is a Z Cuvée fan? I'd love to hear that. So with these two blends, Z Cuvée and Z Cuvée Blanc, these are both classic Southern Rhone blends. Z Cuvée, and with both of these wines, those majority blending components will transition from vintage to vintage depending on what our winemaker is wanting to do. When we do the blends, the decisions of the percentages doesn't happen until later on in the process. So it's not decided pre harvest or after we pick this. The decision of how much is going into what is decided later on after some barrel aging, and they'll do blind tasting, barrel samples, and then decide from those lots what is going to go into the blending program. So the decision to, when it comes to making a blend, is very meticulous, and they really want to get it right. We don't want to make the same wine every year. We want to make the best wine with what that vintage gives us. So in order to do that, you kind of need to taste it throughout the process, and then make that decision as we get closer to bottling. So to get to the fun part, the promo we're running, if you purchase 6 or more, and you can mix and match between these two wines, we're doing 15% off for our non-club members, 30% off for our club members. On top of that, you get $5 shipping. So this is a great deal. Like I said, both these wines are a lower price point, $25. And on top of that discount, you're looking at about a $20 bottle of wine. For club members, even more. So 6 or more, $5 shipping. You can do that online. You can email me, Garrett at zacamesa.com. Plus, if you're getting six or more bottles, then you can set up a private virtual tasting with me. So double bonus. Again, our upcoming schedule, this Saturday, we're going to be doing the homage collection. Again, I had to reschedule our winery tour because they're doing work in the production facility right now. So I apologize again for having to reschedule that, but I promise we'll get to it eventually. I have that set for the end of the month, but again, that could be rescheduled depending on if that work is done. June schedule is coming out later this week, and we'll have a post so you can check that out. And I want you guys to message on our Instagram page, any specific topics that you guys want to know more about. And if I see something that I think could be cool, I'll set up and do one of our Wednesday or Saturday tastings themed around that. So please, any suggestion, doesn't matter what it is. If it has to do with wine, it doesn't have to be specifically Zacca Mesa, but I'd love to hear it. Other than that, if there's any more questions.
So, JD Gee says each harvest has different percentages. Is that correct? Is it typically similar percentages and blends that you use for the Z Cuvée year over year?
Yeah, the percentages change every year. So, with the Z Cuvée, it's always going to be either Mourvèdre or Grenache based, but the percentage of what's more dominant will come later after they've tasted through different barrels and decided, which varietal they think is going to be the best dominant. And same with the Cuvée Blanc, it's either going to be Roussanne or Grenache Blanc, but again, those percentages will change based on, how things are tasting. So that decision is made when we get, closer to bottling.
I know it takes a couple seconds for everyone.
Yeah.
It's a little behind. Jeff says, we've always thought of the Z Cuvée as an anytime wine, great for summer barbecue.
Yeah, absolutely. That's how we talk about it in the tasting room. It's that everyday, easy drinker, doesn't break the bank. Great for barbecues, walk in with a bottle of Z Cuvée for a barbecue.
Festival.
We're going to have it tonight. What are you making tonight, babe?
Tonight I'm making a baked spaghetti, and yeah, Z Cuvée, that's why it's my favorite, because it can be paired with almost anything, and it's just great. It's a go-to great one, especially when we go out and do the tastings, the festivals. That's one of everyone's favorites when we do those festivals.
Yeah, I'm excited for dinner tonight. Definitely going to have some Z Cuvée with that. It goes great with those red sauce dishes, pastas, pork dishes, steak, even some heavier poultry dishes too. Cuvée Blanc, being that it's more Roussanne dominant, crab, lobster, shellfish, garlic butter shrimp pasta, something that has that kind of nice creamy buttery texture. Goes really nice because it does have higher acidity, but it also has that nice textural component and that kind of honeycomb and spiced pear from Roussanne, and it goes really nicely. So these are both really fun wines to pair with because of the blending component of it, and again with the price point, you can play around with it, have fun with it.
Jeff said, by the way, opened a 2010 Z3 a few days ago. It was wonderful, paired with a pork ragu. Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds like a great pairing. Sounds like a pairing I'd like to get in on.
Rest for Life says, thank you, JDG, for our virtual tasting. Maybe you had a virtual tasting with these people.
Who is this? Rest for Life. What's your name? Give him a sec.
Yeah.
Done some virtual tastings. My friend here, Rest for Life. Once I get their name, I'll know. Did a tasting. Just did a private virtual tasting a couple days ago with our Chardonnay, and that was really fun. It was a perfect day for Chardonnay, so that was a double bonus.
Okay, so JDG, that's his mom. So you did the virtual tasting with JDG and his mom.
Oh, great. Which wine did we do? Was it the Inceptive? Also, guys, we are offering pickups at the winery on Saturdays by appointment. You can email me to set that up. Take a nice little drive out to the winery and pick up your wine. So just email me to set that up. We like the little chill on our barbecue
Susan DZ said, we like a little chill on our barbecue wines. Do you think the Z Cuvée would be good chilled?
Normally I wouldn't suggest chilling red wine. But I think, if you want to put it in the fridge for, 20 minutes before drinking and have a slight chill on it, I think that's fine. Typically when wine's, sitting out on the counter, you're drinking it too warm. Room temperature is not the right temperature to drink wine. So if it's sitting out and you want to chill it a little bit, why not? I think Z Cuvée would be fine. Obviously you wouldn't want to serve it like a white wine, but a little chill's fine. Yeah, especially if it's going with barbecue. You got that, a lot of spice. Maybe you're spicing things up on the grill. So go ahead and go
What
for it.
are some barbecue wines that you recommend?
Z Cuvée, for sure. Another one of my favorite just barbecue wine varietals is Mourvèdre. Just straight single varietal Mourvèdre. Z Cuvée being Mourvèdre dominant, but Mourvèdre just by itself single varietal. Probably the best barbecue wine. Mourvèdre's got a lot of dry, kind of smoky spice to it. It already has this like meaty note to it. So it goes killer with barbecue. And it has that really nice, dry, rich tannin profile, which goes really good with some red meat. So Mourvèdre, for sure. If you don't want to do red, got to do rosé. Do a nice dry rosé. Always refreshing, always nice crowd pleaser.
Miss Yogi J says, we love Zacamesa. We will be picking up some soon.
Fantastic.
And then
make sure if you're picking it up, make sure you email me because it has to be by appointment.
And then I saw that like I said, we had the 2014 Chapel G Syrah with grilled lamb chops, and it was great.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's
lamb chops, yes. Lamb and Syrah are a match made in heaven. If you like lamb, you should get Syrah. Better than Cab, better than Zin, better than Merlot. Syrah's the best pairing with lamb. Don't know exactly why. I have some idea, but it's just a match made in heaven. They're a perfect little couple. Again, guys, promo, 6 or more bottles, mix and match, $5 shipping, plus 15% off for non-club members, 30% off if you're a club member. It's a great little deal. If you forgot to get your mother a Mother's Day gift, hey, it's not too late. It's not too late. You missed out on our rosé deal, but get her some Z Cuvée. Better be a case if you forgot, because that's pretty bad. Again, if you guys have any suggestions for any of our upcoming live tastings, I'd love to hear it. If I think something's cool, I'll set it up as a feature for one of my live tastings. This Saturday, again, I'll be doing the homage collection, which is a program that we source all the grape varietals from. They're varietals that we used to grow in our estate. Now we're paying homage to them. So that'll be fun. And again, rescheduling that winery tour, which is supposed to be this Saturday to the end of the month. So I apologize again for having to reschedule that. That's it. There's no other questions. Is there a question?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. Thanks again, guys, for joining. And I really appreciate everyone who, comes to watch. I will see you guys Saturday, hopefully. Hopefully you're not too mad at me for rescheduling the winery tour. And cheers. Have a great day.